What up, nerds? TJ and Scott here for the Raising Nerds podcast, talking about our favorite nerd topics and how raising little nerds of our own is better than an idiot's array in Sabak. How you doing today, Scott?
Absolutely fantastic.
All right. Well, I've already asked you that today because we're recording 2 episodes, which is fun. I like doing 2.
It is fun.
I kind of enjoy it. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be covering Chapter 10 of The Mandalorian. Season 2, Episode 2, basically.
Yep.
And, let's jump into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
May as well. So, Chapter 10 starts out with Mando flying through the desert super fast on his little motorcycle, hover cycle.
Speed a bike.
And we see some bandits setting up a trap. And I thought it was funny that they were covering up the rope with the sand, because there's no way in heck Mando could have seen that coming no matter what.
No.
It's like, oh wait, there's a line really far away ahead of me,
and he's moving fast enough.
Oh my goodness! And he hits the boost right as he goes through the canyon too.
He does.
Oh my goodness! So he hits this tripwire. And how many dudes were there? Like 3, 4
dudes?
dudes?
4.
4 dudes?
Four
yeah, there are
guys.
4 dudes. And one of them was really little short dude. And
he's actually the same one that we see in episode 7. He's the one that freaks out at Rey as she's trying to scrub, and she looks and stops and looks at the
Are
old
you
lady.
kidding me?
It's that same creature. At
Oh
least
my
it's got
goodness, it's the same
face
kind.
mask. Yeah.
You're right. I forgot that. That's crazy.
That's a small guy of the group.
Wow.
But
So they trip Mando and Baby Yoda. Now we know he's called Grogu, but for this episode,
it's Baby Yoda.
it's Baby Yoda. Sorry, getting my throat stuck. Baby Yoda goes flying.
Yeah,
and
which
rolls
was a
across the
bold
ground.
move. And last time we saw danger come to Baby Yoda,
People were not happy.
people were not happy. There were almost riots in the street.
Yep, and that was when Bill Burr dropped him in episode 5, right?
Yeah.
6, the prisoner.
No, it was when he gets punched.
Oh,
Last time we saw him was when the stormtroopers punched him.
I did see some memes with episode 6 when Bill Burr's holding him, and then they come out of hyperspace and they do the crazy maneuvers to get close to the prison ship, and Bill Burr dropped Baby Yoda on the ground and rolled around. There were a bunch of memes going around like, if this happens again, we burn Disney to the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god.
Which is funny because then what happens a couple episodes later, they straight up start punching.
I know.
Baby Yoda. It's like
They were not really making choices.
Well, I wonder if they're like, okay, now that they love this beloved character, what could we do? How far can we go?
How far can we go?
Okay, that's the limit. We can't go any further than him being punched.
Yep, that part is accurate.
Like, if we go
He's
further
been
than
swallowed by creatures.
and,
He's been
it's like maybe it's because they're like they may have toyed with the idea of what if Baby Yoda dies, and that's what motivates the Mandalorian, and so they are like, let's see what happens if he gets hurt. And so they show stormtroopers punching. They're like, okay, we can't kill him.
Okay, well, he can never die.
He can't die because there will be fires in Disneyland and mobs, and so that just can't happen. But yeah, so Baby Yoda goes flying, which
hurts. It hurts
did.
to watch him go flying and
Yeah.
see Mando. Mando's able to save himself with the jetpack. He doesn't
Yes.
actually hit the ground. He lands on his
a
feet.
pretty good landing.
And you can see he starts looking for Baby real quick, but then he's immediately attacked
Yes.
by all 4 of these dudes.
Yeah.
And the little dude, he just keeps picking on, man. It's like every time that guy starts to get ahead, he just blows the crud out of the dude.
Yeah.
So he shoots the gun out of the dude's hand. Now he's limping. He goes over, gets his bigger gun. He grabs onto it with his cable,
Pulls
yanks
it.
it over, and knocks the other 2 dudes out.
Yeah. I want to say one of the
little
dudes
guy
got
just can't
taken out
win.
at like the beginning.
Yeah, he took out one of the dudes real quick.
And then the
just-
other 2, because he went to take out the other dude, and that's when the second guy that he was fighting with came around the corner, and they keep trying to hit him in the head.
Yeah, you know, he's got a helmet on.
Of Beskar.
Yeah. And Beskar versus Fist. Beskar holds up.
Yeah, it does.
That's my favorite phrase.
But I mean,
besides that, and Gor Koresh, he's my favorite guy to talk about.
He is. I was going to say that it seems Gor Koresh is not the only one who is looking for this shiny shell.
Nope, not at all. Now we don't know what these guys were after specifically. We know Mando, or they could just be raiders waiting for whoever comes through there. They also could be looking for the Beskar. They could be looking for Baby Yoda, because they do say to the short guy, "Get the child."
Get the child.
And so a lot of people now who called Baby Yoda the child all the time were like, "Oh my gosh, they know who that is." It's like, no, that's not his name. That's just what they call him right now, is the child. And obviously if somebody says, "Go get the kid," it's fine. "Go get the child." Yeah. Oh, they know him. No, they don't.
Yeah.
No, it's just what you say.
Yep.
It's fine. And so all that's left is the short guy, and he's got a knife to Baby Yoda. And you got to be thinking at this point there had to be a couple of takes in this shot where he goes, "Snap, snap, dad," and everybody freaks out.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that. Careful, that's a $2 million puppet. You cannot pull a stormtrooper and punch that thing as hard as they did.
Nope, their whole career.
You're not gonna get paid.
Disneyland, it rests on the shoulders of that thing. So
yeah.
Be gentle.
Please don't burn down our livelihoods.
Yes.
So he says, "Just leave the kid alone," and then says, "There's a lot of value among this wreckage. Take your pick.
What do you want?
What do you want?" He sees the Boba Fett helmet. I'm like, oh no, he's gonna take Boba's armor. But then the short guy makes the dumbest decision.
Yeah.
It says, "Hey, give me your jetpack."
Yep.
And Mando's like, "Okay."
Take it.
Even better.
Now I don't have to even track you down anymore.
Exactly. Now, of course, he doesn't know that. He may have been thinking even further along, thinking, "Oh, I'm going to make sure he can't follow me."
Yeah. With
the jetpack. Can't track me down. He's going to have to walk. With the kid, it's going to slow him down. He can't catch up to me if I take his jetpack.
Exactly.
That is not how it worked out.
To his demise.
So Mando sets it on the ground, rockets down, and it stands perfectly in the sand.
Yes.
And I'm like, that would have taken me at least 20 tries.
Oh, yeah.
To get it to stand upright. But Mando hits it right off the bat. Yep. I know it had to be something to do with logistics. Like, for some reason, the short guy couldn't get it up out of the sand, or as soon as he bent over to get it, Mando could take him out. Yeah. There had to be some logistical reason why they did that.
Yeah.
Because they wanted him to get the jetpack
and
run away.
Yes, they did.
And then Baby Yoda does the cutest run to Mando.
I was going to say, you never think that Baby Yoda can do something much more adorable than the episode before. And he does. And that little run from him to Mando is...
And it's the sound. It's the scared sound.
Yeah.
It's like, oh!
And it's funny
feel it in my heart.
He has no worries about the jetpack. I'll deal with that in a second.
No.
Are you okay?
Okay, buddy.
Okay, you all right? Okay, we're good. Now we can deal with this guy.
And then he just pulls his arms up, and you hear that.
The button. Off goes the jetpack.
And then, Baby Yoda looks at Mando. Is it after he falls? I think it's after he falls. I think it's an unbroken shot. Ah! Oh.
Yep.
And then Baby Yoda looks at Mando and he goes, "What? What do you want? What do you want? What was I gonna do?"
He was gonna take the jetpack.
And then the jetpack lands perfectly straight up and then falls. And I'm like, okay, that's better.
Yep.
It's hard to balance those things.
Mm-hmm. And then he, proceeds to strap everything to himself.
Oh my goodness!
Which I wonder if he looked around to see if those guys had to have some sort of vehicle. You'd think.
I would think so, unless they're locals.
That's true.
And they're hiking out there to try to find somebody to
That's
raid,
possible.
Possibly take their speeder or something.
I wondered why he didn't use the jetpack to take him anywhere.
I think I think there's a weight thing.
It was too heavy. That's possible.
He'd probably burn up all his fuel if he did that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he needs it for the next episode.
That is true. He does.
He really does. Next couple episodes. So he gets back and he goes straight to the cantina.
Yep.
Well, actually, no. Well, I guess the cantina could have been on that side of town.
Could have been.
Like he had to pass it to get there. Maybe he's dying of thirst.
Yeah, well, he did just walk all day.
Yeah.
In armor.
Yeah. And so he gets there. He goes inside, still carrying all of his stuff in the cantina. And he goes up and we see the ant creature from Ant-Man.
We do.
The blown up ant from Ant-Man.
Cameos.
Does a cameo.
What's his name? Dr.
Mandible?
Mandible.
I think. And he's playing Sabacc with Peli.
Peli.
Now, you played Sabacc with us, right?
Yes.
So we actually did play Sabacc for a little while with my brothers and Scott. And we played a version of it called Tatooine Utini or Tatooine Hold'em.
Yes.
And it was a lot of fun. But in that one, we played a different version of Sabacc. It's the Get to Zero.
Yes.
It's the Zero Sabacc. The one that they're playing in this one is the 23. They're trying to get to 23. It's a little like blackjack and poker put together.
Right.
Now, so what you're trying to do is add up all the cards in your hand, everything from a 0 to, I think it's 14.
I think so.
Or 12.
Something.
And you're trying to add up to 23. Unfortunately, there's also another one. There is a trump card. There is a trump hand.
Yes.
Which is called the Idiot's Array, which you have a 0, a 2, and a 3. So you got 23.
Yes.
Like an idiot.
Uh-huh.
That's why it's called the Idiot's Array. And so Mando has to spot Dr. Mandible 500 credits.
Yes.
To go in on this hand. And then Peli just takes it from him.
Yeah. Because Dr. Mandible says that he has information on Mandalorians, which is what Mando is still looking for at this point.
Yeah, Boba Fett was a dead end. The Marshal was a dead end.
Cobb Vanth.
So he goes in. Mandible says he can help him. He loses to Peli. Still gives up the information to Mando, thankfully. And yes. Peli says, "Stop your crying. You'll rust."
Yes.
It's like, oh my goodness, really? Oh, Peli, Beskar doesn't rust.
They've really become good friends, those two.
They have, but it seems like Mando's always trying to get something done, and Peli doesn't even care.
Yeah, she's just
Peli has this life on Tatooine, and she's happy with it.
Yeah.
She's carving out her own little existence there. So Peli won quite a bit of money.
She did.
In that thing. And then Dr. Mandible's contact comes over to the hangar.
Yes.
Which, from what I understand, is the exact hangar that the Millennium Falcon escaped from.
Interesting.
I've heard that it is the same hangar.
Hangar 40... Is it 47?
Yeah, that's not something I know.
I should have remembered that.
I know. Docking Bay 42?
It might be 42 or 43.
It's probably not 42. Oh, well. Either way.
The point is, it's the same docking.
It is the same docking bay. And Mandalorian says, okay, well, we got the information. Peli's like, yeah, we got it. It's just this person needs to be at this planet.
Requesting passage.
Transport.
Yes.
And Mando's not very happy with it.
Well, there's a catch to the transport. I mean, he first of all, he's like, I'm not like a taxi service.
Yeah, it's like, what's the catch? What's the catch? What's the catch? And she's like, no
it's
catch.
Fine. There's no catch.
There's no catch.
Yeah.
However, you got to transport this lady and her brood, the last of her brood.
Uh-huh.
And you can't go in hyperspace.
Yep.
And Mando says, whoa, no hyperspace, but if I don't go on, going fast is the only thing keeping me alive.
Yep.
there are bandits and pirates and, everybody out here. Well, he reluctantly agrees.
He does.
Because Pelly vouches for this frog on her life.
Yes.
And she speaks frog. We
does.
established this.
Mando does not.
Mando does not speak frog, but Pelly does. And she vouches for this lady with her life, but only met her 10 minutes ago.
Yes, because she talks about...
what can I say?
You're going to take her to her husband. And he's like, oh, do you know her husband? Like, what do you mean? I just met her 10 minutes before she walked in.
Yeah.
I thought you said you vouched for her on your life.
What can I say? I'm a great judge of character.
I like how they're cooking the great dragon meat over, like, the engine.
Engine exhaust.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I'm like, I've cooked a can of beans using an engine before, using an engine block. I've even warmed stuff up on an exhaust. But you don't put open food next to an open flame that's burning fuel. Like that.
Yeah.
That's going to taste weird.
Mm-hmm. Well, who knows? Maybe that helps the Great Dragon taste.
Maybe it does. But I did like Treadwell doing the rotary, the spit. That was fun. It's always fun to see those little creatures from the original trilogy.
Yeah.
She's got R5 Treadwell. It's like she pretty much owns the entire Sandcrawler with the droids.
Really, though, she does. Maybe that's where they go. When Jawas can't sell them, they sell them to her.
Now we just got to find that big mine droid, the big dome droid with the treads underneath.
Yes.
Little mine checker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
So she vouches for this frog lady. They get on board. They get into space. And Baby Yoda has found something that he likes.
Hey, noticed it when she first walked in.
It's a little container full of
beautiful
eggs.
container full of snacks in his mind, which are the last of her offspring.
Yep, that's her last spawn. And so the first time Baby Yoda reached up and touched the tank, did you think that he was like, "Oh, there are little babies in there"?
No, I thought he thought food.
Yeah.
Because he eats
thought the
frogs in the first season.
And this is just a big frog.
It's a frog.
Oh my goodness!
Did you notice that when he touches it, the eggs come to him?
Yes. I think that happened in the ship later. I don't think it happened the first time. The first time he just sees them.
Yeah, when he touches the first time he touches the tank.
Yeah, they start moving towards him.
Move towards his hand.
Which is good because how else would he get him?
Yeah.
Like, but that is such my favorite shot was him when Mando comes down for the first time and sees him and goes, "Hey, Woody, get out of there!"
Yeah.
And he's got the lid open and he's sitting over the top of it and he's got his hand and he's got one in his hand. And he looks up like, "Oh, I got caught!"
Like, oh crap!
Like, what are you doing? And he's just whoop right in his mouth. And it's like, oh my goodness. Oh, I know there was a little bit of controversy with people like
a ton of controversy.
And I'm just like, are you kidding me? What? Come on, guys. Goodness. They say it's so insensitive to people who can't have kids and have to do in vitro and stuff. I'm like, I know tons of people who've had problems having kids, and they all thought it was hilarious.
Yes. It's just...
My friends that we watched these episodes of Mandalorian with, they had to do in vitro, and they thought it was hilarious because they don't think about that. And I know all the different arguments and stuff. I personally just think it was silly to have problems with it.
We're just ignorant.
And next episode, we're going to talk about that controversy about the armor.
Yes,
which was fun.
Stay tuned for that.
But
yeah, and he talks to Baby Yoda and he's like, "This is not food. Like, don't eat that."
Yeah.
Because I think he's actually coming down to sleep. Because I think what happens is he takes Baby Yoda and he gets in the kind of his little bed.
His little bed there, and that's the first time we see him lay down with him, right?
Yes.
And
he's got a little hammock.
Yeah, Baby Yoda's got a little
has
hammock.
a little hammock in the same room.
Yeah, but it's the first time we've seen Mando lay down there.
Yes.
It's got to be annoying to sleep in your armor.
Yeah,
like I've slept in my clothes before.
A lot of stuff in that armor.
Yeah, very true. Can you turn off the visor and stuff, or does it stay on? Yeah, just these lights shining in your eyes.
Who knows?
heads-up display.
Is there air conditioning in the armor, or is it just like a sauna?
Is it temperature controlled?
Him walking through the desert.
Yes, with all the stuff.
Metal armor with.
Whoa!
I pack stuff wearing a coat. You carry heavy stuff, and I'm dying. Like, now you add that it's armor, and it
doesn't exactly breathe.
No. So sleeping in it is probably uncomfortable.
Oh, probably extremely. It's got to have some sort of temperature control in there somehow. That's what all the stuff behind the armor is.
It's all temperature stuff. But Frog Lady luckily stays in the cockpit to sleep.
Yep. And then he's woken up by loud blaring alarms.
Yes, he is.
He gets up there and he's being hailed by a couple of X-Wings.
Yeah.
It's a couple of friends.
We have seen before.
Well, we've seen one of them before.
We've seen one.
The new guy. The new dude, Carson.
Yes. Carson.
Yeah. He is new to us, but we got Dave Filoni,
however,
talking as well.
Yep, he is.
And oh goodness, I just love that. So
too.
They start asking him, "Hey, you're not your transponder's not broadcasting."
It's pre-Empire.
I'm not required to.
Not required to.
Oh, officer, I'm not required to have that particular license. Well, that was before. Thank you. I will look into that. May the force be with you.
And with you.
And also with you. Just so you know, we are looking for Imperial holdouts. I need you to send us a ping. I don't think I have that hardware online.
Hey, Lovey's just sitting
we can
there.
wait.
That's okay. We can wait.
I'm not seeing it, and he's just sitting there. He doesn't move at all.
Yeah. But you gotta know, they gotta see him.
Know.
They were looking over.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's like see him right there, just sitting there.
We can still see you. We know you're not looking anywhere. You're not even trying.
And finally, he's like, "Oh, here it is," and he flipped the switch.
After they threatened to have him follow him to
he's like, "Well,
Delphi.
if you don't send the ping, you'll have to follow us." You know, and
it's
like, "Oh, wait, I think it's working."
Here
now.
it is. And he turns it on, and
they're like,
"Hey,
switch
to channel 2." Oh, that's never a good sign.
No, it's not.
When the guy radioing you switches with his buddy to a different channel, that's never a good sign.
That means that they're gonna need to talk.
And then we see the ultimate sign of crud.
Yes.
Which is that
the X-Wing moving to attack position.
Move us fast to attack position.
Yep.
And all of us at home are sitting there going, "Uh-oh, what happened?"
Yep.
And then they say the magic words that I wondered if it would ever come back to haunt him.
Were you near
the prison transport, such and such? And Mando goes, "And dive,
go, yeah, like, get out of here." Yeah.
And then I love the X-Wing banter. Like, where does he think he's going in that thing?
Yeah, he's gonna break up in this atmosphere.
Oh, man, they're just...
Which is really cool when he takes that turn and just shoots off, then stops and just drops.
Oh, man, I love that. He is so skilled with that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he is a fantastic pilot with that thing. That thing can pull maneuvers that you wouldn't expect it to.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we'd seen those maneuvers in the prison episode. We know this thing can move really well and can hold together really well.
Yes.
But these guys, they definitely underestimated it.
They did.
They chase him down to the surface. Did you like the chase? Did you like that?
Yes, I did. And I kind of kept saying, like, don't make us do it. Like,
yeah, don't make us fire on you. So already we can see hints that they don't really want to attack him.
No.
Like, we know their S-foils went into attack position because they didn't know what was going on.
Uh-huh.
But Mando didn't attack them.
Yes.
He just tried to run and like, whoa, what are you doing? Come on,
why are you running?
You're in a freighter. We're in X-Wings.
Yeah.
You're not
faster.
outrunning us.
Yeah.
You're not outmaneuvering us. Come on. But he does. He does outmaneuver.
He does.
He's able to escape by basically crash landing on ice and sliding
under
and then flipping backwards and then goes off that little jump real quick.
Uh-huh.
When that
he hits
happened,
the gas, it's like stop himself from.
Yeah, exactly. And then, oh my gosh, when I watched him do that, I'm like, wow, that's a great slide. That's a great slide. Then he hit that little ramp and got airborne. I'm like, oh my gosh, I felt that. Like sledding. Yeah. I felt that going down the hill and you turn sideways and then go backwards off a jump. It's like, I'm feeling that. And that's not a pleasant experience. Because it's, crud. I didn't expect that. Boom. And he lands. They pass him. Corner. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that was amazing.
They lost visual. Can't see it.
And
he goes to get up, maybe to like check on things, and the ground isn't as sturdy as he thought.
It falls straight through and damages the ship.
That's what takes out the ship. Yeah.
That hurt when his ship got damaged.
Yes, it did.
I'm sitting there like, oh.
You can see the stuff leaking out onto the ice. And you're like, oh,
so leaking, you can see panels open. You can
leaking
see holes.
Leaking is never good.
Should stuff be coming out of this? I don't think stuff should be coming out of this.
No.
That's correct. What is this red stuff? It's blood. Do I need it? There's a Bolt flashback right there.
Yeah, they actually just watched it.
Did you?
My girls just watched it yesterday.
Oh, that's funny. So you got that reference right away.
So you saying that, I was like, that's Bolt right there.
What
is this? That's blood.
Do I need it?
Do I need it? Usually on the inside of your body.
Inside your body. So, they crash down. Mando gets out, takes a look at stuff. It's
goes
not
to check on the child, baby Yoda. And what's he doing?
He's hiding under a tarp with the eggs again. After all that huge crazy chase, the crashing, the dropping out of the sky, the frog lady screaming like crazy because she has no idea what's going on.
She is freaking out.
And he comes downstairs, he's like, I'm looking for your eggs. I'm looking for your eggs. And then he sees the tarp, pulls and sees the eggs. Oh, good. Pulls it off, and Baby Yoda's got the thing open again.
And he's like, what did I say?
Suck it up, more eggs.
Stop eating this.
How many did you eat?
Yeah. How many did you eat? And that's when he burps. And you're like, like too many. He ate too many.
He ate way too many. That was funny. And then
he checks his ship.
Yeah, man checks his ship, and it doesn't look good. He's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. And so he decides to bunker down for the night, tries to communicate this to Frog Lady.
Yeah, whatever it is, it can wait till tomorrow.
And do you watch the little stingers at the beginning of the episode where it shows you previously on The Mandalorian?
Yes.
You watch that stuff or you skip it? You watch it?
I watch it. When I'm with my wife, I watch it. Yeah, the first time for sure, because it's like there are things here that are going to be called back to during the episode.
And it did call back to that droid being on the ship. From the prison episode.
Yes.
So callbacks to that episode quite well.
Yeah.
And so she reprograms it.
She does. She bypasses his security.
Yeah. And gets his, what'd she call it? His vocabulator.
Yes.
Working. And starts telling him, look, you promised to do this.
Yeah.
Are you a Mandalorian, or is that just stories you tell the children? And then Baby Yoda looks at him like, well. He's like, fine. And I know this feeling so well. He grabs his tools. He goes outside. It's the middle of the night.
Yep.
He wanted to get some sleep. It's late.
Cold.
I used to work service plumbing, and man, get these calls in the middle of the night. Something stupid, some idiot flushed something they shouldn't have. You gotta go get it. You grab your tools and you go inside and you.
Yeah,
I totally get it. So he gets to work on it. He's making some progress. He's actually making better progress than he thought he was going to. And you can tell that because of the way he acts when Baby Yoda comes out. And he's like, hey guy, why don't you come help me? Get this done a little faster.
This is really where we first see Baby Yoda start to kind of babble. Before it was just sounds. And here's where he really kind of had kind of a voice. Like, okay, he's kind of starting to talk.
And turns out the lady's gone. Frog lady's gone with the eggs.
Really all Baby Yoda was saying is this lady took my snacks.
She took the snacks. I don't have any snacks now. I'm supposed to get snacks. I'm hungry.
Where are my snacks?
That's exactly what he was saying. So Mando uses his little heat tracker
thing. Which is really cool.
Oh my goodness. It's so amazing.
So,
we saw it first in the Sanctuary episode 4, chapter 4, when he tracked Cara Dune.
Yes.
And tracks the footprints. So we see him tracking the frog prints in the snow, and he sees something very warm up ahead. Turns out, hot spring.
Yep.
Very cool. And we get a little naked frog lady
taking a bath
with the eggs. Keep the eggs warm. Which I get. You know, we'd seen a couple times the container was starting to get low on power.
Yes.
Or something was wrong.
Heat, something. It's not.
And it must have been heat.
Yeah.
So she's trying to keep him warm, and Mando goes, "Oh, you can't run away like this. I can't keep you safe."
Yep.
And Baby Yoda finds another egg.
Yeah, well, first he tries to get that's probably one of my favorite points in this. He's like, "We gotta go," and so Mando starts cleaning up, putting the eggs back in the tank, and Baby Yoda goes to grab one, and he's like, "No."
Yeah.
It's like such a dad thing. He's like, "No."
But he also doesn't want to tell the lady.
Yeah, he can't be like,
"Oh,
he's been eating the eggs," because that's not gonna go over well. So he's like, "Go." So then, he finds another egg of different type,
and he pops it open, and inside it is a gooey, stringy creature. It's a spider.
Yes.
It's a Krykna. So now we are into our creature feature for the Krykna. Tell us about the Krykna, Scott.
So the Krykna are basically not very well known. There's not much we know about them. We first saw them in Star Wars Rebels, when the Rebels have a base. They are on a planet. Base. Chopper Base is what it's called. The planet, I don't remember what the planet is called, but it's got these spiders as well, these Krykna, which if you've seen them, that's what they look like in the show, the cartoon as well. A couple of things about them. They are intelligence-wise, they are animals. They're not, they're not sentient. Not sentient, yeah. They are usually they react to negative emotions that they feel around them.
So they're kind of tied to the Force.
Yes. At one point, Kanan Jarrus, in the TV show, goes blind, and he actually is able to calm them because he discovers it's not their fear that is aggravating them, it's his own fear.
Yes.
His fear is what's causing them to lash out. And he's able to control his fear, which causes them to not be a problem to him because they are deterred by frequency that the base has, and that's actually what they set up around their base, are these antennas,
sonic antennas
that put out a frequency that the spiders don't like, the Krykna, and so they stay away from the base. They have webs that are very strong, and they are apart. This, I didn't see this as much in The Mandalorian. In the TV show Rebels, they are very resistant to blaster fire and ship fire.
Yes.
So turret fires from ships doesn't really penetrate their skin, their hide. You can only get through their eyes.
Yes, and I believe in the show, in the Rebels, we only saw pretty much adult ones.
Yes, yeah, we only saw the size that was maybe, I would say, half the size of the big one that we saw in Mandalorian.
Right.
It's about that size, and we only saw that size. There weren't a varying size. They are, side note, still lightsabers will affect them. They're not resistant to lightsabers.
No, just blaster fire.
Just blaster fire. But in The Mandalorian, it seemed that his blaster must have been strong enough to penetrate their
at least the small
skin.
Ones.
Yeah.
At least the smaller ones.
Yeah.
We saw a bunch of small ones and then the really big one.
Yeah, the bomb blows up the big one. One of them, it looks like. At least stops it. Slows it down.
Yeah.
Deters it.
I think there was only one big one the whole time.
It slows it down.
Personally.
Yeah.
Which it's hard to keep track.
But, I mean, they're essentially what happens with the Krykna is that's them nasty looking spider things that kind of give you the creeps. And you do see the big one actually shoot its web from its mouth.
Yep.
To try and capture them. It misses at least the first time.
Yeah.
But
oh gosh.
That's the Krykna. We don't know much about them other than that. They are, their hides are durable and they react usually to the negative emotions that they feel around them. So they may have attacked due to the fear that they felt.
Definitely some fear between Baby Yoda, Mando, and the Frog Lady.
Uh-huh.
There's plenty of fear to go around.
I'm watching it. I was kind of glad that they were able to get all the eggs in the tank before those things hatched.
Oh my goodness.
Because to have to try and hurry and scramble or, leave eggs behind.
Hurry and scramble the eggs? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If they had to hurry and scramble the eggs.
Baby Yoda's proud.
Trying to run away from the spiders. I heard it gave kind of a Harry Potter feel.
Oh goodness!
When Harry and Ron are trying to run away from the spiders.
I hate spiders so bad.
They are haunting. And
I have a hard time watching this episode. Like I watched it the first time and I'm just like no, and it kept getting worse. Like sure you had the little one, so Baby Yoda eats one of them.
Yes.
And then the other eggs start moving, and Baby Yoda gets scared, and he runs over to Mando. Mando finishes packing up the eggs. Frog Lady goes, uh-oh. She uses her tongue to grab her clothes, puts it back on. They start running. Frog Lady ends up having to go full frog.
Hopping, yeah.
To try to get away while Mando carries the eggs and Baby Yoda.
And shoots at
the spiders.
Yeah, lovely that eggs had a strap so that he does have a free hand.
Right.
But still.
So at least some good was made it a little easier.
You had the little ones, and then they just slowly get bigger, and then you had a big one.
Oh my goodness!
Which the big one's the one that gives that. I was okay until I hit the big one.
Yeah,
the big one was the one that got me, and it wasn't until later. Yeah, later in the episode is when I was most nervous by it.
Yeah,
which we'll talk about. They get to the ship.
Yep.
Which, I mean, if you remember, has holes in it.
Yeah, it has holes. I mean, it's not exactly the safest place.
You can't really seal yourself in.
But, he's getting in there, and I'm seeing them crawl around him into the ship, and I'm just like, oh, no.
Yeah, they're getting in there.
No, please, no.
Uh-huh.
And then they get to the cab, to the cockpit, and they go inside. And the spiders are right behind, and they start crawling in the cockpit. Uh-huh. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. I can't handle this.
And one actually gets on Baby Yoda's head and starts to pick a spot to bite.
Yep. And
Frog Lady saves him.
Yeah, Frog Lady has a blaster.
Yeah.
Is it one of Mando's blasters?
I don't know. It was a little thing.
I would say it was hers.
Yeah. It was just a tiny thing.
And she takes out like 3 of them
and
around Baby Yoda.
Flamethrowers the door to get the door shut.
And they keep coming. And oh my, that's one of those things about creatures, like creepy crawly creatures that I can't handle is when they run into like fire or something that's destroying them.
And they can still do it.
Same thing with like Infinity War. In Wakanda, when they're pushing themselves through that barrier, they're burning and getting sliced, and they're still pushing through. And I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I can't handle that.
But yeah,
the fire and the burning and all of the different bodies that it lights. And
we finally get the door shut, and you're safe for a second. For a moment, they can't get in.
And Mando's like, well, I guess that's enough repairs.
Time to get out of here.
Let's hope this works. Fires up the engines. Luckily, they fire. He starts taking off.
And the spider hops on top.
Boom!
The big one.
Giant one just takes it right to ground.
Yep. And breaks it even more.
Oh, man.
And this is the spot that got me. I was fine until its face hits the glass, and you can see its teeth rotating.
Oh, gosh.
And it's a few, and then you see that whole tube is full of teeth.
Yeah, you get swallowed by that thing, you're not getting out.
And that's what, when I was like, nope, this is...
that was enough for Scott.
I feel uncomfortable now.
Yeah, I was already there. And then its legs...
start breaking through
the windscreen.
And now the other spiders can get in.
And it's like, oh no.
And it's really one of those, it hits the glass, and you're like, another one of those, and it's going to break through. And luckily, The New Republic, or you see blaster fire.
You see blaster fire, and you can hear. I believe they actually killed it with the X-wings.
I believe so too.
Because I heard distinct X-wing.
Yeah, I did too.
Cannons.
I
go
did
off.
too. And
So
it would make sense because that thing is big enough that you'd want maybe a little more firepower.
yeah, well, maybe a lot more firepower. And I know in Rebels they were pretty resistant to some of the ship fire,
Yes.
but X-wings have the most powerful cannons.
Yes, they do.
Of all the fighters.
Yes.
So it makes sense that an X-wing would probably be able to handle
but
it.
so Mando goes out to check.
And they're all dead.
All the spiders are dead, so they left the ship probably because they were being attacked by something else. So they went to attack that.
Yeah, and our two X-wing friends, two X-wing cops,
they have found Mando.
Found him.
Luckily.
Oh, I don't. Just right through the chasm.
Yep.
Just happened to find.
Which
probably
I wonder
were
if
patrolling.
when he turned the ship on, it put up a ping that.
It could have done that. They also could have gotten to him from the blaster fire from Mando trying to shoot him.
And there was a huge explosion when he blew up half of the cavern.
Right. Yeah.
He threw a couple bombs back there, and I would assume that maybe is
quite a few beacons that could have let it out.
Luckily, they were close enough that they're like, maybe we should check that out.
Yep.
And it's possible that they knew that stuff was down there, and so they're like, we should be careful because he may not know what's down here.
Yeah.
But needless to say, the New Republic saves their lives.
Yeah, and they announced to Mando that there's a warrant out for his arrest.
Yes.
Because of helping
a prisoner escape.
Twi'lek escape from that prison ship. However,
he aided in the capture of 3 high-profile suspects.
Yep. 3 wanted criminals.
And the security records showed that he tried to save a lieutenant or a Davik.
Davin?
Davin tried to save his life. Davik, sorry, that's Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay.
Davik.
Davin,
who tried to save him. He put his own life in danger to try and save Davin, which they saw.
And
it's funny because he asks, Mando asks, "Am I under arrest?" And the guy's like,
"You should be."
Yeah, you technically yes.
But these are trying times.
Mm-hmm. And so what say I forgo the bounty on those 3, and you help me patch up my ship
so I can get off of this frozen rock.
How about you fix that transponder?
And we don't blow you out of the sky next time we decide to patrol this area.
Yeah, which is, I personally, I think I would have liked more lines from Dave Filoni, but it was fine.
I see Dave likes being there, but I don't think he wants to be the guy all the time.
That's true.
I think he wants to just, I'm okay to be who my guy is.
I'm there. You know who I am. Most people, they'll recognize me. Oh, there's Dave. And then move on. That's true.
Yeah.
Because in the one we talked about when he's with Cara Dune,
back on Navarro,
there are 2 X-wings there. So we
would
assume
is there.
Dave is there. We just didn't see him.
He's just staying by the X-wings to make sure nobody tries to make off with him.
Yeah.
Navarro doesn't exactly have the best reputation.
No, they
just
do not.
Yet.
No. So they leave.
Yeah, they leave. Now I maintain something. If they had seen Baby Yoda, if they had seen Mama Frog with her young, I think those X-Wing pilots would have stayed and helped repair the ship.
Yeah.
I think they would have helped him get out.
I agree.
But the entire time, Mando keeps those things hidden from them.
Yes.
And whether that's a mistake or not, and we'll see, later on, Mando does tend to keep things a little tighter to the vest. Not in the next episode necessarily, but in future episodes, he definitely keeps things a little closer.
He does.
But I think that would have helped him in this case. However, he still doesn't have a good relationship with the New Republic.
No.
Especially after the chase and the S-foils in attack position.
Yes.
Not super confident.
And he does technically have a warrant out for his arrest.
He does. That is true. That is very true. But Mando's able to get the ship up. It's able to get going, but he can only pressurize the captain.
And he can limp it to the next planet.
And I love what he says, too. It's going to be a long and bumpy ride. I can only pressurize the cabin.
If you need to use the privy, do it now.
Do it now. It's going to be a long trip. You need to use the privy.
I think my favorite part on that was when he was like, wake me if we get shot at, or that door gets ripped off.
Or that door gets ripped off its hinges.
And he waits a couple seconds.
And she's like, what?
I'm just kidding. If that happens, we're all dead.
We'll all be dead. I loved that. Just that dry wit.
I'm just kidding.
Gallows humor.
If that happens,
I'm just kidding. Dead. You won't be able to warn me. We'll all be dead.
Yeah. And then it just ends.
Yeah, they go into space and that
shows the ship, which was... It's funny that he said speed was the only thing keeping him alive, because as I watched it again, I'm like, if anyone came across his ship, he would be defenseless.
Oh, no, yeah, if pirates and stuff
his ship is so horrible. I mean, they may not even try to pull it over just because it looks like it just is abandoned.
It doesn't even look like it's flying.
Yeah, it's just kind of floating.
He kind of... I don't even know how you get to escape velocity to leave the planet, but he did.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like he pointed the ship and
hit go.
And launched the thrusters for a few minutes, and then once he got to speed, turned them off.
That's gonna send us in the same way.
And we drift the rest of the way there.
We drift with Baby Yoda looking at Frog Lady and the eggs.
And she covers up the eggs.
Yep.
She's like, I gotta protect him from Baby Yoda.
She covers him up
and
he
turns
sleep,
around and he holds up his hand.
He's
got
another one. And like, where did he even have that? Like,
how long did he have that?
How long did he have that one?
You take advantage while the Kryknas were attacking.
Maybe he did.
Like, whoop! Yeah. Hungry.
Maybe she poked her head out when he went out to go talk to the X-Wings. And
That's
like,
fine.
I'm gonna grab a snack now before I. But
oh goodness.
Yeah, and that was.
I thought it was perfect the way they played Baby Yoda eating the eggs. That was so great.
I thought it was.
It reminds me of when I'm at my grandma's house and my kids are playing with something they shouldn't. At Grandma Lurcher's house.
Yes.
And the kids get a hold of one of the decorations or something. He's like, no, stop that.
Stop. No.
Grandma's like, what's going on in there? Nothing. Everything's fine.
We're fine.
Everything's fine.
How
many of these did you have?
Yeah. I'm looking for your eggs.
Just looking for the nesting dolls.
Yep.
How many did you eat? That's a legitimate question.
Yeah, yes, it was.
Or Grandma's jelly beans.
The
little jar of jelly beans. Yep, that's what they do at Grandma's
How many
house.
of those did you eat?
Oh, goodness. Yeah, and this episode ends rather abruptly.
It does.
Rather abruptly. As far as the Lego set that I would want from this thing, as much as I hate those spiders, I would not mind one in Lego form. I wouldn't mind a couple. I wouldn't mind having a little mini version, a little mini one. Maybe some eggs. They have Lego eggs that are close enough. They're not perfectly cylindrical like those ones were, but they look like eggs. And have a couple of eggs and a couple spiders, and then a big spider, and then Mando and Frog Lady.
Yeah.
And maybe a little brick-built egg container.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. Either that or maybe an X-Wing.
That would work.
That has interchangeable parts and both the pilots.
Yeah.
So you can get one set, and you can swap it out to whichever pilot you want. Or if you get two sets, then you can have both X-Wings at the same time.
Yeah.
I would love that. So. Dark side perspective. Not much of a dark side perspective.
No, not really.
Just the spiders.
So I mean, really, is they're just
eats your young
of the
and
fear. Yeah, they're moving off of the fear that they felt, and that's what aggravated them.
Yeah.
If they follow the same form as the.
They were really aggressive.
They were.
I definitely
aggressive.
think they've got to have something similar to those. Because at what point, I mean, how many of those things did Mando take out before they got back to the ship? And they kept attacking.
Yeah.
Like most creatures,
if
they're in a pack or something or a swarm, you kill enough of them and they'll back off.
Yeah, but these are, I think each one was taken out, and he actually got webbed, his hand, against the side of the ship.
Oh man, that was terrifying.
And he just catches the spiders, it jumps at him and squeezes it, and
that
keeps
was
going.
So gross. I loved that.
It was awesome. But there's lots of animals, bugs on this next couple episodes little creatures that are
little creepy crawlies.
They've got legs that are just kind of all over the place.
And the Baby Yoda eats.
Yep. Yep. We've established that Baby Yoda eats pretty much anything. I'm eager to see something that Mando tries to feed him and he spits it out or something and he doesn't want it and Mando's like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
Exactly. Like broccoli or something.
Broccoli.
To see him try and feed him something. Well, let's give you something a little healthier. And Baby Yoda just spits it out, or even just knocks it off and just get out. I don't want this.
Oh man, that'd be so funny.
That's the next step in your phase as a father is trying to feed this kid something he doesn't want.
Oh man, that is so fun. Oh, that's always a struggle as an adult.
Yep.
And in the next episode, we do see Baby Yoda struggle to eat something.
Yes.
So, it's coming a little bit sooner than you think.
Stay tuned for that.
So, not much happened in this episode. Did you kind of expect that?
Yeah. I mean, he can't be running 100 miles an hour every single episode.
Yeah,
and there can't be
can't kill a crate dragon every episode.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it might have been kind of a quick breath from the crate dragon because it's that was quite the feat.
Yeah, that was an amazing
episode.
Bring it in a little.
Take a second, and it's still intense and crazy, but not a lot is happening story-wise.
Yeah.
We're kind of just...
Not having a lot of reveals or anything.
Yeah.
Now, did you have any spoilers from the next episode because of what you saw in this episode? I know that's a little vague, but for me... whether or not Frog Lady was going to live was already spoiled because of the trailer. Because in one of the shots in the trailer, it's of the planet they go to next, and you see her with her husband walking on the dock.
I didn't see that in the trailer.
I definitely did, and so when I was sitting there watching, I'm like, oh, I know she makes it.
Right.
Because I saw them in the trailer at the Quarren Village.
Interesting.
And you can see them if you look at the trailer now,
right?
You'll be able to see it and be like, oh yeah, no, totally,
yeah, that's
totally see it. Yeah. And it's got her little egg container and everything, and they're just walking down the dock. It's like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh yes, and at the end of this episode, I knew what the opening shot of the next episode was going to be.
Yep.
Which was the opening shot of the trailer.
So would you say we've seen pretty much everything from the trailer?
Actually, at the end of episode 3, we had seen everything.
And
episode 4.
Okay.
We'd seen everything.
And
that's because there were just a couple shots of Grief and Cara Dune. And then the speeder bikes and stuff. But we still had no idea what was going to happen in the next episode.
Yeah.
We don't have any idea what happens in any of the episodes, but... we ran out of trailer shots in the fourth episode.
Yeah. I mean, one of the hardest things I have with trailers is many times the trailers like to show you the most intense parts of the movies.
Yeah.
Because that's what gets people to come. And so it kind of kills those intense parts when you're watching it. Because you're like, oh, I already saw this.
Yeah.
Like a perfect example of it was necessary, I guess, because it brought people, but... Thor Ragnarok. The reveal of Hulk.
That was such a bad decision.
It got people to the theater, which was its purpose.
Because it was the third Thor movie, and the first two didn't do that well.
If you had just taken a second and imagined not revealing Hulk, seeing him break out of that door in the theater, not knowing it was going to be him, would have been mind-blowing. And so having trailers like for Mandalorian, where it's like, awesome, I've seen everything that the trailer has showed me, which means everything now is just, it's going to be a surprise, which I prefer.
I was so shocked at the first season how they were able to do all the trailers without a single shot of Baby Yoda in the entire thing.
Yeah, it's so true.
And he's in it from the first episode.
He is. And that,
How on earth do you get away with that? And there were even shots from the final episode.
Yeah.
Of Mando in his full Beskar coming out and taking out the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the trailer.
They pick spots that they're like, we will not.
Well, Baby Yoda's not in this one, so I guess we do that.
And it's another one. I'm grateful that you didn't have people that were going to spoil it. You know, because there are people who they sneak, you know, cameras on stuff, and it ruins things. And it's like, imagine how much less that reveal would have been if we're like, oh yeah, there's a baby version of Yoda because there's a picture of a puppet of Yoda. It would have ruined it.
Oh yeah, it absolutely would have.
So it's like, I'm grateful that it didn't, and you know, like you said, the trailer and everything, so that when we saw Baby Yoda in the first episode, we were like, "What is that?" Wait a second, and like pause. Let me just look at that for a second because it's
and we
adorable
did forever.
Yeah,
I remember looking at that thing every day for a week until the next episode.
It was like,
and every time Baby Yoda came on screen, it was like, oh my gosh, it's real.
Exactly. And it's so nice that was able to be kept secret, and I would even, you know, I'd hope that it would continue. You know, they could still do it like that, and that we'd have people that aren't so eager to spoil things that are inside that would ruin that for stuff. Because, you know, they do it for information, but some of us, you know, look forward to the surprise of, you know, like.
Same here, and that's what bugs me about so many of the social media posts and stuff right now is people keep going nuts and
they're like
putting spoilers everywhere.
Yeah, it's like for example, I watch it. You know, most of the time I'll watch a Mandalorian episode at lunch. You watch it in the evening, where it's like, I'm geeking out, but I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm just going to let you know that
wow, oh my gosh,
I am freaking out right now. So that's what you have to look forward to. But I'm not going to be like, oh, hey, he just said Grand Admiral Thrawn, or this was just said, because it's like, well, now I just ruined that for you.
Oh man, and it happens fast. It happens so fast. Just today, I was just in YouTube, and there were spoilers of Ahsoka constantly, like pictures of Ahsoka on every single thumbnail. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, guys! Like you do know that Mandalorian isn't available in every country, right?
Yeah, and it's.
I apologize to everybody in Greece. Apparently, they don't have it. Yeah, I have some people on my YouTube channel from Greece, and during my live streams, I'll talk about Mandalorian or something. Not much in spoiler territory or anything, but you know, this guy's like, I can't get Mandalorian. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. You gotta get one of those VPNs, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And just say, hey, I'm in the U.S. And he's like, oh, we can't get that either. And I'm like, how is that even possible? Do you have the internet?
That's
he's
sucks.
like, yeah, but it's heavily regulated. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's. Well, if you're listening to this, then you're definitely gonna.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. No,
sorry.
We never said that this wasn't a spoiler
podcast
at all. It's always a spoiler podcast.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about literally the episode.
Exactly.
I think it's funny when people are like, "Oh, why didn't you warn me?" It's like we do reviews of the episode. What
do you think?
What did you think we were gonna do?
Yeah, and these will be like 5 minutes if we don't talk about spoilers.
Oh right, yeah, we get into it.
Yeah,
did you like the episode? Stuff. Yeah, I liked the episode.
Baby Yoda was there.
And spoilers.
Yep, his ears moved, and we're done.
Yep, that's basically all we'd be able to do. So.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, I think we're getting close. I think our next episode.
Yeah.
Our next episodes are going to be Chapter 14 and Chapter 11, and then we're caught up on Mando.
We are.
So. We're officially fully,
which is kind of nice because we'll have maybe those last 2 episodes where it's just
we can just
recent
go
episode
straight deep into it, which would be awesome.
What are we talking about? Yeah.
Ooh, it'll be awesome.
Which we're starting to hit stuff. Stuff's starting to really move now.
It is. So anyway, well, I know it's a shorter episode than our last one, but that's totally okay, right?
And, I agree. It's not too bad. But that's it. Really for this episode. And just always remember, if you're having trouble raising your own nerds, this is the way. Until next time.